Welcome to LC Screen Talk. My name is Larry, and this is my review of Ad Astra. Ad Astra follows the story of Roy McBride as he follows in his father's footsteps as an astronaut. But when the time comes and he's given the opportunity, he finds himself traveling across the universe to have at the slightest of chances to see his father once again after he was presumably gone. So I'm going to start with this. I have been a little bit tired of the space subgenre. I know people talk about comic book fatigue all the time. I think I have just a tad bit of outer space fatigue, and we have another one still to come. And I'm mostly speaking of these big drama epics. Of course, send me into space for science fiction, Star Wars, whatever. I'm usually pretty good to go. But these astronaut films, particularly, we're getting at least 1 to 2 every single year. And unfortunately, there's a bit of sameness to them. Beautiful visuals, obviously, grand scale, and, dramatic events, stern performances, the whole lot. But something about the trailers for Ad Astra already spoke to me. They kind of drew me in. Brad Pitt in the central performance already kind of drew me in just from the trailers. And I was very excited actually to see this. Had to go see an IMAX, though they ran out of pins on the first night. What? So sad. But still glad I made the extra effort to go out to the IMAX to see this. And ultimately, I really liked Ad Astra a lot. So let's go ahead and talk about the positives first. Well, I mentioned it before. I'm going to start this off with Brad Pitt because I was enthralled the entire runtime by Pitt's performance. It is such a quiet and understated, soft performance that is so deep and layered. He really establishes this complex character and character arc through minimalist kind of acting. And it just was amazing. So, of course, when the bigger moments hit for him to give his performance, it was fantastic. And his character goes on such a journey. And so much of that was done through Brad Pitt and his way of fully realizing who this person was and bringing them to life. It was really a masterclass in subtle acting. It was so good. But also right next to Brad Pitt, Tommy Lee Jones also gives a stellar performance. He's so good in this movie. And as I already mentioned, those visuals, well, this definitely lives up. Ad Astra is absolutely gorgeous. And I'm so glad I went and saw this on an IMAX screen because really that's how it probably should be viewed in any case because it is stunning. The visuals in this film are stunning, but more so than just the visuals, I really have to give it up to the cinematography, which was mind-blowing. I mean, sometimes my breath was pretty much literally taken away by the cinematography in this film, the camera work in general, and the direction. James Gray does a fantastic job directing this film. Literal uses, the literal representations and visual storytelling to accompany the words being spoken was amazing. The transitions used in this film blew my mind. Like, this is transition work done at its finest. Really, the direction all the way across was absolutely stellar. Even from getting to see through the reflection masks on the astronauts' helmets, and when you were and weren't able to see their eyes and their face through that was so expertly crafted. The use of color was absolutely amazing. This is a technical and visual masterclass, honestly. And the sound design, oh my gosh, the sound design was perfect. Across the board, in every category of sound, it was perfect, including this amazing score, which gets big, but this score was really haunting. It was like a more introverted type of score for this big space epic. It gave you those kind of chilling, thrilling moments within the music as well, but it was the softer, more haunting songs throughout the film that struck a huge chord with me. And that's actually a pretty good reflection of the film overall. I loved the big visuals. I love the big shots of outer space or the big moments, but it's really the small story that drives this entire film that hit home for me. We really explore some deep issues ranging from like familial connection, like the connection and bond between parent and child, and grief, and what it means to come to terms with not so great circumstances. And all of this is going on through Brad Pitt's character, who goes on such an amazing personal journey. The space setting really is just a vehicle to tell this very personal, small story of Brad Pitt's character, of grief, of that family bond, and honestly, of the human experience. One, we touch pretty heavily throughout on human nature, what that looks like, and the problems there, but also on the human experience, what it means to be human. And the human experience one did really ring true for me at the end, even though it's not all that original. The way it's handled and the way it's told, the way it's visually represented was so stellar, and it weaved so perfectly into this character's journey. It was amazing. The movie's great. Now, as we segue into more negative aspects of the film, the first negative I have, I'm not sure is a negative. I think I need to rewatch the film before I definitively get a grasp on how I feel, because there's several moments throughout this movie where I couldn't figure it out. I really had a problem figuring out if what I was watching was some sort of manifestation and some sort of kind of illusion type thing that was going on, some sort of visual metaphor for the character and their intentions and their actions. And I'm not going to say any more, so don't worry, there's no spoilers here. And if one moment in particular actually took place, is really random. It's really cool, but it is really random. And that does segue us into the more negative aspects of the film. So the big moments look gorgeous, the score is gorgeous, they're really exhilarating actually, but I couldn't help myself but to stop and be like, this seems rather impossible, of several times actually throughout the film. Starting right off with our very first scene. So while you needed those more high action, high octane moments, there are many moments throughout the film that are like more actiony, that I kind of could have done without. I enjoyed this more as an introspective film with beautiful visuals that didn't need all of that action, honestly. But I will concede it's a little bit too long. There are definite moments in the center of this film, in that second act, which is pretty typical, where you just know some of this fat should have been trimmed. We're getting shots, we're getting moments that don't add a whole lot to the story. They don't add a whole lot extra to our understanding of Roy as a character. So we could have cut down on those and maybe help the pacing move along just a tad bit quicker, because I unfortunately think general audiences are going to get a little bit bored and maybe leave a little bit disappointed. And also, if you're coming here for Liv Tyler, you're also going to be disappointed. She's hardly in the film. I honestly don't know why they cast her and didn't just get a new actress. But hey, Ruth Negga has a little bit to do. She's actually utilized pretty well overall, I'd say. But all of our actors here are fine. Just most of these other characters are very much underutilized. But overall, I loved this film. I was a little bit nervous. I was, skeptical heading in. Even as we began the movie, I was like, okay, okay. But then I left just really thinking and feeling. It kind of struck that chord within me that had me reflecting, had me feeling like happy and sad and just kind of pondering what it is that I'm digesting here the entire drive home. And honestly, the films that can resonate with me on that level are the films that I end up remembering after the year is over. Honestly, I say give this a chance. Go see this in IMAX. It needs to be seen on the biggest screen you can possibly get your eyeballs onto, and go see it. And it deserves a full price ticket. It's so good. Just go in knowing this is a small film set in a big setting. You're not going in for this big action-packed, fast-paced type of movie. You're not getting a lean, mean, gravity-style machine here, but you're getting a really important and a really deep story wrapped in beautiful imagery. So that is my review of Ad Astra. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, go ahead, click like down below and subscribe to the channel so you are always up to date on our latest videos. Also, join in on the discussion. Are you excited to see Ad Astra, or have you already seen it? If you have, let me know your thoughts either in the comment section down below, or you can hit me up on Twitter. I love you all so much for your continued support. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!